All right. Well, welcome everyone to our Light Your Dream team once a month training. Tonight, we are going to be doing some training on time management, since that seems to be a topic that can be difficult for a lot of people. So before we get started, I just wanted to remind everyone, though, about the team challenge that we have going on for sponsoring a new team member in the month of May. I've got lots of Bella Bucks that I am ready to give away. So for anyone who sponsors a bundle distributor with a getting started kit will qualify for that. And thus far here, halfway through the month, we have Allison who has sponsored one person and Lane has sponsored one person. So both of those qualify. And that's even more exciting that Lane just had promoted last month. So she is rank advancing and here with another. She just needs a couple more and she's going to be hitting that director position. So very exciting news. So congratulations both to Lane and Allison for your efforts here in the month of May. All right. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. This is actually was a training that I had done some years ago and came across it recently and thought, oh my gosh, still relevant today. And it's called Master Your Life, or I'm sorry, Master Your Time, Master Your Life. That's how important getting control over your time is. And I just love this quote here, time equals life. Therefore, waste your time and waste your life, or master your time and master your life. So, one of the biggest obstacles to achieving success and growth in the business is that old dreaded, I don't have time, and we all say that. It's just so prevalent, especially in today's world when we are just so overwhelmed by media and things to do and people to take care of. That many people think that they know that they want to achieve, but very few figure out when they're going to find the time to make it happen. So this is the problem. We mistakenly think it'll just happen, and that is just not the case. We all have roles that we're playing. Not only being a business owner, but oftentimes, we're spouses and a parent, maybe even a caregiver for our elderly parents. We might be an employee. Many of us do work full time. We still have to be available for friends. We might be a member of our church. We might volunteer with various organizations that we value. So this juggling of personal, work, business, and family commitments, it can be hectic. So the I don't have time really is a myth, though, because you'll find the time when you know how, and it's important to you. So successful and unsuccessful people alike all have 24 hours in a day. But successful people, they're not gifted with extra hours in a day. They just know how to effectively manage their time. So the solution is to master your daily schedule. You need to take control of it so it doesn't take control of you. I promise if you go through your day without a plan, you won't find the time to adequately do the things that you value in your life. So it's essential that you do create the time. You must give it specific place in your day. Again, it's not just going to happen. You've got to make it happen. When I was letting my day just happen and, dealing with whatever was thrown at me, I would inevitably come to the end of the day and be frustrated because I didn't get the things done that I, said were important to me. I said they were important, yet my activity was showing otherwise. I wasn't sure that they were getting done. I felt like I was always saying, when I get this done and that done, then I'll get to doing what I really need to do. Problem was there was never an ending to that this and that list. So I was letting that control me. So I determined that I needed to design my life by mastering my time and not just reacting to it or leaving it to chance. So how do we do that? one of the first things that we need to do is determine our core values. Do an inventory of what's important to you. It would make sense that the majority of time should be spent on things that are important to us, but that sometimes doesn't happen. While, some of our valued areas, do receive attention out of necessity, like a family, others like health. For me, I wasn't, those areas weren't receiving the attention that it needed and deserved. And if you ask me what one of my core values is, I would have said health, important, yet I was not finding the time to exercise or take my supplements, making sure that I was keeping up on my health. I would also say that, education and self-improvement is very important to me. Yet I wasn't finding the time to study, both spiritual and business concepts, to many other things. Too many other things always needed to be done first before I would get to exercising and studying. And, whoops, sorry, I got a new mouse here, so it's kind of tripping me up a little bit. And, we have core value memory joggers that can help you. You can search online. It's all out there, all kinds of different lists with a bunch of values listed out that you want to kind of go through your inventory and pick out things that are important to you. And maybe confront things that I said were important, but that weren't being given my time because I wasn't really focusing on what those things were. So, when I looked at, my activities that I was engaging in throughout the day, many were involved in cleaning and organizing. So I learned some of my core values are, orderliness and cleanliness and efficiency, and any schedule that would not allow me this time to be sure that my home and workspace were in order would ultimately fail because it wasn't honoring who I am. So, especially with business, it's important to make sure, again, for me, it's a core value, cleanliness. When I get to my desk, I need to be able to find things, work efficiently, because I don't have a lot of time. Because I do work full time. So I got to jump right in and get busy. So I need to make sure that I have time to be efficient and organized, but then it also helps me mentally because that's, important to me. And then, doing an inventory like this can help you clarify that, what is not significant to your core values. Sometimes we spend way too much time doing things that when really asked, is this important to you? Is this one of your values? We would say, nope. And so, ask yourself if it isn't bringing you closer to achieving one of your goals, then maybe it's something that shouldn't be devoting too much time and energy to. When I was allowing life to happen to me, it wasn't very well balanced, and too much of it was sometimes consumed by business. And while I do highly value my business and I love working it, I love to prospect and mentor others, and those are all important to me. But I do have to find balance. A successful and rewarding schedule should include all areas of your life. It shouldn't be too tilted to one area. So, career is important, but, also family and spiritual and health and education. And then don't forget to do recreation in there, as well. All right. So we know that we need to make a schedule. So let's talk about that a little bit. To master, life, to make this a reality, you need to schedule it on paper or computer, however you do your scheduling, but it just shouldn't be up here in your head. You need to put it down. And at the end of the screens here, I'll show a picture of like a 30-minute breakout of a calendar, Monday through Saturday. You can kind of give Sunday flexibility and do what you want, or whatever day. Pick one day out of the week where you're just kind of keeping that time to yourself. But the other days should try to be as structured as you can. So start filling in all of the events that are non-negotiable. So if you have a work schedule, you need to cross off those blocks as work time. If you have children and there's certain activities or times that you need to be available to them, then you need to mark off those areas. And then once you kind of put in there what is non-negotiable, then you'll be able to see the various hours that are available for working your business. And, it's good to decide, are you a morning person or are you a night person? And so you want to be putting business time when you're going to be most efficient, most alert, most ready to hop on things. So if that's in the morning, then put your business work time then. If you rather do it late at night, and that's when you're marking your calendar. Okay. And then, during those highest energy time period, that's when you want to do what's most important. And sometimes what's most important can be what's most difficult in your business. And that might mean where you have to make those phone calls, where you have to reach out to people, you have to follow up with people. Do that when you've got the energy and you're feeling good about things. Don't waste those peak times on things that are not real productive, like, searching through Facebook. And you want to determine at least 1 hour block every day that you will faithfully devote to your most important goal that you're currently working on. And then nothing can interrupt you during this time. So this is your focus hour. This is an hour that's exclusive for your business. And again, it's up to you when you want to schedule that in your day, but you got to really focus on it so that nothing else.
It doesn't say any name.
It ain't saying no name.
Okay. Then you're gonna, kind of fill in the rest of your schedule with your core values from the list. You want to determine what's important to you. Here, let me just see if I can.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm just gonna mute out, see if I can get this.
I'm just eating my supper.
Kathy, can you hear me? You're muted, so we can't hear you.
Allison, can you hear me?
Yes, I could hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Sure.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Very good. Sorry about that. I always forget that because I use both a computer and my phone, and it was muting my phone, which is where the voice comes from. So, okay. So what I was saying was that, we need to fill in the calendar with the core values, and a good way of differentiating the different areas of your life is to color code them. So I'll put like my study time in pink, and that study time is, personal development. Green is my business time. Orange might be my job. Purple is, maybe personal or family time. Yellow then is, was designated to my daughter's activities when she was a little younger. Now I don't have to do that so much. But you can easily then see kind of at a glance, where your time is going to be placed, what you're going to devote to each area. Okay. And then while, it is important to be consistent and stick with it, after the first few days to a week, may realize that you may have your schedule set up that may not be working correctly for you. So it's okay to change it up. Sometimes reality plays out differently than what we envision on paper. So I call this, do, review, and revise. So, for example, I thought that I could do my hour first thing in the morning. but, reality kind of hits you sometimes and you aren't able to do that. So if you decide that, that's not the best time to be doing your reading, you like to do that more at night, it's okay to shift things around. You want to be able to, just kind of fully concentrate. So figure out the times that are going to work best for you. And then it's important to be consistent and persistent. Once you do figure out your schedule, what works, then you need to stick to it. Okay, so it's imperative that you do what you have scheduled to do each day, and don't let things that are not on your schedule derail you, which is easy to do. So you got to stay focused on it. Don't let it take you off course of what you've determined is the most important things for you. And it's really helpful if you schedule the things that you have trouble getting to after a trigger event, meaning after a specific action, you go right into your scheduled activity. This is something that I had to do with like exercise. It would always be like, I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get to it. But if you don't make a specific time for it, then it can easily not get done. So what I would do is have a trigger event. I would drop my daughter off at her activity and then come home and go right into exercise. Don't let something get in between. Because then again, it doesn't happen. All right, and then you want to hang on here.
What
Okay,
was that last one, Kathy?
So then, hang on here. It's the challenges. So this is the challenges one here. The last one was, be consistent and persistent.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So, I don't tend to be a procrastinator, and I always move quickly on things that need to be done, but I like to take care of things now. So, this methodology wasn't working for me because it would take care of things, as they came up. And this is what, created that eventually running out of time at the end of the day to do the things that I wanted to do. I have to be able to put things aside and kind of prioritize and say, okay, this just came up. I'd really like to just get this done, but then it takes me off of what I really need to be doing. So you got to kind of not be wanting to do it immediately. Save it for its block of time. Okay, one of the biggest revelations for me was that I didn't have to take care of everything in only a few areas of my life while letting other areas go unattended because I simply ran out of time. So now I can at least do something in every area of my life that I've deemed important every day because I've got them scheduled off in their blocks. At the end of the day, then I can be amazed at how much I actually get done. So I'm mastering my time. I'm mastering my life. It's not taking control of me. So it allowed me to, achieve more balance and accomplish more than really ever before. So this is one little trick here that I've often used is to-do lists. And get these, post-it notes in different colors and kind of differentiate them between, things that I need to do for home, things that I need to do for business. And then, what do I need to do today versus what are those things that, I need to do. They need to be on my list, but maybe they're not priority for today, but I don't want to forget that eventually this is something that I need to take care of. So, doing something like this, or oftentimes something hits me when I'm away from my desk and I think, I got to remember to do. And so I've started to use the reminders on my phone a lot. Just kind of click on that little add a task and, remember to, whatever. And then it will, remind me of that because inevitably something comes up when I'm not near paper. I'm not in a place where I'm at my desk to think, I should have put this on my calendar. So I've used the phone to do little reminders to myself. Okay. And that, so then there's the 30-minute schedule block. So you can kind of see, I know it's kind of blurry. That's all I had was this old picture here. But you can see how it's color coordinated. The purple is my personal time. the orange is my work time, business time versus family time. So again, if it works for you to color coordinate things so that you have a visual of when you're gonna do that. But it's important that, again, we're just putting things on the calendar that we know that during this orange time, this is when I only do those activities. During my green time, that's when, I'm working business. Okay. So that's about all that I have for that. And then I'll open it up if anybody has any other ideas about how they kind of schedule things. Allison, I think I had you unblocked. Can you talk? Okay.
I'm here.
Let's just kind of go over a couple of your techniques or little tips that help you kind of keep things scheduled so that you get things done.
Yeah, I was just jotting things down as you were talking because for the longest time I struggled with time management and working my business when I used to work a full-time job, especially now that I'm retired, it's much easier, but I was always so overwhelmed and yes, you have to work on the things that bring you closer to your goals, like you said. We need to make sure we're choosing to spend time on what matters most and what is the biggest impact for your business, which are your sales, reaching out to 2 new people a day, fundraising, and getting that information out, vendor shows, and sharing the business opportunity with others. What else? I wrote down managing your time starts with managing your priorities, kind of what you talked about for your life, your business, and so forth. And creating the schedule like you did, how you showed you had the power hour or whatever hour you called it. I call it the power hour
Our
each day. Yeah. So, and I also saw just the other day that studies have shown that every time that we jump from one subject to another topic, or another thought to another, it takes our brains like 15 minutes to get back on the zone and focus on what you're originally doing. So as far as the business, try like batching, like what I do is I batch different activities. For instance, I do like a broadcast Mondays. Monday morning is my broadcast emails to my list, my customers, distributors, business opportunity prospects. So I always every Monday, that's it. My my broadcast emails for sure, besides the other type of activity I do in my business, promoting on social media and things like that. Tuesdays, I try to focus on doing a live in my group or on my page or a YouTube video. I try to get in front of the camera once a week. I slacked off the last few weeks because we're in the Punta Cana and then I went to Florida. But, I'm going back on my Tuesday schedule like that. Um, and I usually don't plan anything for like Sundays, because we try to keep Sundays more, for family and doing things like that. But Sunday for me is a planning day for my next week. So I make sure I always plan out my week, what I have going on, fundraising, candles, delivery, or whatever. I always plan that out. Wednesdays, I skipped around, sorry. Like Wednesdays, I'll focus mainly on fundraising. Like I'll start emailing out my emails to different fundraising groups about spring, summer fundraiser going on now. And I've been adding in lately that our fall, winter fragrances will be out soon, sometime in August, to put it in their heads that, okay, maybe they don't want to do it now, but we have another one coming up. What else did I put down here? Oh, one thing, yeah, and I found that I did this years ago, when I had younger kids, and I used to sit in the bathroom with my phone and go on these calls so they couldn't hear my kids. But you really have to communicate with your family, your people in your life when when you got your power hour, when you're going to work your business. where you need to like go over a weekly calendar or time slots with your family. Talk to your husband or your wife about who's going to do what this week as far as like errands or picking up the kids or something. So you have a better schedule. Let them know when you have that block, that hour block of time, and when you work your business, it has to be interrupted. You can't be doing something and then Sally wants lemonade and you have to get up and go, and you have to let them know that's uninterrupted time, you know, for you just to focus.
Mm-hmm.
And
Very,
they, if you're working your business hard, you know, it, my family has been always been very supportive because they see I love it and they see I'm dedicated. They see I love all the distributors in the company and how great it is, how fun it is, and how much everybody helps each other. I'm very passionate, so they want to see mom succeed. They want to see mom happy, so they know, and they learned at a young age, mom's working her business, leave her alone for now.
right.
So you
And
really have to talk to your family and
yeah,
really put them on the same page as you. This is really important to me. I need to make these calls. I need to do these emails. I need to focus on what I'm writing without interruption. And
right.
most of the time they will help and understand what and give you that break that you need for your business.
Yes. And then not to be afraid to ask them, especially if you got older children, to, to help out, to delegate some of the duties. I'm very fortunate now that my husband is retired. So when I come home from work, he has dinner ready for me every night. And then I say, I'm going to work on my business now. And, I need and would like for you to clean up the dinner and the dishes and all that. And he takes care of that. If there's something that you need to be done and you've got older kids that can help in doing some of that, so that it doesn't always feel like it all falls to mom to do it, because you're right. I mean, it's a business that benefits the whole family, and when they understand the power of what you're doing and the time commitment that's required in order to make it happen, so that the money comes so that they can partake in some of the joys of what the business does, then they should be willing to help you do that. But you're right. I do that. My family knows on Wednesday nights at 7:30, I'm not available. I'm going to be doing these live calls or training or whatever. And it's my time. I got to use it. So I think that's really just the most important thing, is to realize that things aren't going to just happen. You have to make it happen. You have to plan it. You have to have a schedule, know when you're going to work it. And again, I mean, it doesn't mean that if something comes up, you can't, push it aside. Like last night, my daughter is home from college here. And so we are going to have 3 sets of mom and daughters that, every time they come home, the 6 of us go out to dinner. So I normally work my business on Tuesday nights, but, they're home and we all went out to dinner and had a great time. So that was one night that I took off, even though it's on my schedule that I, usually work in the evenings. But, it's okay to, again, we talked about at the beginning of the call that all areas that you have value in, you need to be able to give that time to. But then I know that I kind of skipped some business time. So I'm going to make sure then that this weekend I put in a little extra time, making sure that I accomplished what I needed to or could have accomplished during that time when I chose to, not work my business. But I think that's really just the biggest thing, is put it on your calendar, just like you would do a job. You're expected to show up. You're expected to show up for your business. You're your boss, and you got some flexibility, but you still have to be there to put in the time. Otherwise, things won't start happening for you. Okay, so we're kind of at the half-hour mark here. Any last things, Allison?
No, great call. I appreciate it. And yeah, it's really important to stay organized with your time and be persistent and consistent in your business. Work it every day as long as you can work it every day, somehow.
Hey, Kathy.
Yes.
Okay, so like I know right now I couldn't afford to be on the Other part, I'm on, associates right now. I stepped down on
Okay.
that because I couldn't afford it every month to take it out on for a website. Now, when I get more stable on that, and I go back to, the other area instead of, associates, can, like, what is the other part? It's associates and then it's the
The bundle,
one.
district bundle.
Yeah, yeah. So once I get associated with that, now do you get a check every month for whoever you get to go on your website, or how does that work?
Yeah, when people make purchases from your website, you're going to get a 25% commission that will show up in a paycheck for you the following month. So at the end of May, they'll
Mhm.
calculate our sales are that we made from our websites, as well any commissions that we make from the team building, and then we get a
Yeah.
check.
Okay, I was wondering how that worked.
Yes, that's what we need to know. We need to know how and when the money comes. So yes.
Okay, so when I get ready to go back to the other part again, then you'll find out and stuff and let you know.
All right, sounds good. All right, well, before we get cut off here, I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight to everyone and thank you for those that came on the call live. We appreciate you. If you have any questions, obviously you can come to the Facebook group and ask it there, and then share any tips. Once you kind of start maybe doing some of this, if something, you have a light bulb moment and you're like, this really worked for me, share it with the group so that maybe we can implement that too. Or if you have a challenge because you thought something was going to work one way and then it didn't, and you maybe want to problem solve, like how you can maybe make that a little bit easier or better for you so that you stay on track and stay focused. So, all
Okay.
right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.